Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage at Merton Hyundai. So today we are checking out something a little different, a little new. So first off, I want to just clarify, I am in Canada. Do not confuse this 2022 Santa Fe Limited with the 2022 Santa Fe Limited in the United States, because that Limited is quite a bit different. That actually has more in common with what we call the calligraphy here in Canada. So if you'd like to see my video on the calligraphy, definitely check out my channel. If I remember, I'll try to put it in the link below as well in the description. But anyway, so we're looking at what Hyundai now is calling the 2022 Santa Fe Limited Edition. By the way, guys, for anybody watching this video, if you get something out of it, if you like the video, please don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and please comment below. And don't forget, I do work here and sell vehicles, so if you are looking for a new Hyundai, I'd love to see you here in Chilliwack at Merton Hyundai. Anyway, let's go over all the features on this limited edition, because it's a little bit weird. It's not something that we've seen from Hyundai for a long time. It's, to give you an idea, it's a leather sunroof, but there's no, or it's a leather interior, but there's no sunroof, which is kind of unusual for Hyundai. That's something that we've seen in Kias in the past, but not on Hyundai vehicles. So let's have a look. It's pretty nice. So this one is slotted sort of in between the regular sort of preferred Trend and then the Trend hybrid. So there is some unique features on this limited edition, such as the side skirts. So you'll notice on the side of the vehicle, there's no chrome strip along the bottom here, and it's got a little bit of a wavy line in there. Also, you get black mirror caps and black on the side rails, which is a little bit unique on the limited edition. All right, so to start off the features on this limited, we're gonna start under the hood this time. So this particular vehicle is equipped with the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It makes 277 horsepower and 311 foot-pounds of torque. So quite a torquey vehicle. Now it of course is mated to an 8-speed wet dual clutch automatic transmission. Really nice smooth shifting transmission, guys. Driving this vehicle is a lot of fun. It's got a lot of pickup. It actually handles pretty well as well. Underneath here, one of the things I wanted to point out was just how easy it is to change the air filter. Check this out. So you lift this up, put these two little tabs down, and boom, there's your air filter. Just as easy as that. No screws to undo. It's right there, nice and easy. Good space around the outside. For maintenance wise, this is going to be a really inexpensive vehicle to maintain. They're easy to work on, easy to access everything. And you'll also notice we got lots of structural adhesive under here. Of course, Hyundai, you know, being one of the best companies when it comes to the usage of structural adhesive, hundreds of feet of structural adhesive on this vehicle. It basically helps the vehicle maintain rigidity when it's flexed. So it's going over bumps and whatnot. Any sort of torsional resistance is increased thanks to that structural adhesive. Heavily used in the airline industry, so it's really good stuff. It holds airplanes together too. We also use a lot of advanced high-strength steel, so on this particular vehicle, nearly 70% of the superstructure is made of advanced high-strength steel, and only Hyundai can do that because only Hyundai makes their own steel. Also under here, you'll notice even the sides here are covered. There's lots of sound deadening insulation along the back firewall there, even on the wheel wells here. On the hood, and it's really held together very nicely. It's not kind of falling as you may have seen in some other vehicles. So really good materials under the hood and of course inside the vehicle. But let's continue on with the outside. So on this big beautiful front grille, you'll notice it is a blacked out grille. And further down, you have the forward-facing radar system. You do have LED reflective headlights here. They're pretty good. They're not quite as nice as the top trim, the Ultimate. However, these are still LEDs, and they're very bright and very good. You have the air curtain pass-through here, which of course creates that curtain of air over the wheels, reducing the Venturi effect and increasing fuel efficiency. And you got these really nice T-shaped LED daytime running lights, which look like that. How cool is that? This is a pretty neat look on the front of the vehicle. At night, that really stands out. Of course, the headlights will be on as well. But you know what? During the day even, that looks really cool, especially on this red color too. This is a beautiful color. What do you guys think of this color? It's called Calypso Red. Really jumps out. Of course, it is a metallic finish as well, so it's got that nice metallic sparkle. Now, looking down the sides, you'll see we've got the same 19-inch aluminum alloy wheels as you would see on the Trend Hybrid, the Luxury Hybrid, and last year's Ultimate Calligraphy. Now they're also on the Limited Edition. So kind of interesting that they decided to go with the same wheels. Now the calligraphy for 2022, of course, does have new 20-inch wheels finally. That this is wrapped in Continentals, and they are a mud and snow rated tire, so the 235, 55, 19. And they're a cross contact from Continental. Pretty good tire. Now looking further down the side, as I mentioned, you got the black mirror caps, you've got the marker lights in the mirrors. Of course, there is blind spot monitoring with blind spot assist. So not only will it see that there's a car in your blind spot and it'll warn you that there's a car there, but if you start to drift towards it, it'll actually brake the opposite side wheels to pull you over and avoid a collision. Pretty cool technology. Also with that blind spot monitoring, you have safe exit assist. So when you've parallel parked the vehicle, the rear doors will remain locked if there's a car coming down the side, and the front passenger and driver will also get a warning to not open up their doors as well. So pretty cool, pretty safe. Let's check out the back. All right, on the back of the Santa Fe, you can see we've got the parking sensors right here, here, there, and there. So 4 sensors along the back. Also, to the keen observer, you may notice that the back looks a little bit different. Along the back here, you can see we've got this little pattern in the rear bumper, so a little bit of a different design than the typical Santa Fe's. So we got the H-Track all-wheel drive badge here. Of course, Hyundai's H-Track system, one of the best in the business. It's going to be able to put power to the rear wheels under any sort of acceleration, so it's predictive all-wheel drive system. It's also able to power the outside wheels when going around a curve and kind of brake the inside wheels to help it go around curves better. It's also got the mud, snow, and sand mode, which will lock the center differential, and it'll increase the traction control's aggressiveness to kind of catch those slipping wheels. It's a really, really good system, guys. If you've never driven an H-Track all-wheel drive version vehicle in the snow, if you get the opportunity, try it out, because it's really, really something else. All right, let's check in the trunk of this vehicle. So this one doesn't have the powered lift gate. That's only in the upper trim levels. But you'll notice when we open it up, over 1,000 liters of space here. And we do have 2 buttons that we can put the seats down, so that opens it up to 2,000 liters of space. Let me just push that other one down. There we go. So now both seats are down. You'll notice it's actually a pretty flat floor. I mean, those seats backs, they do come up a little bit, but it's not too bad. Underneath the floor, we do have some storage here as well. Nice little grocery organizer, so you just kind of roll that back. And underneath this one, you can see we've got a tire pressure or a tire repair kit and a little bit of a storage compartment on the left. So no spare tire on this one, but quite frankly, if you've never used one of these, I can guarantee you it is easier than a spare tire. We do have a backup camera, which you can see right there. And on this model, this is not lit up, so on higher trim levels, that does get lit up. So a little bit different there as well. All right, let's check out the back seat. All right, so before I jump in the back seat, I would like to point out that I have set this up to be the absolute most comfortable position for me as a 6'1" individual. I used to be 6'2". It appears I've shrunk an inch. But anyway, so 6'1", half-half, 50-50 split, leg and torso. I'm not tall-torsoed, tall-legged or whatever, but 6'1", that's where I put the seat. Now, before I jump in, also I want to point out you have a sunshade on both of the rear doors here, so nice little spot, a nice little perk for children. But check this out, look at how much space I have. The Santa Fe is immense in the back seat. There's a lot of room back here. It's got a really wide back seat. As a matter of fact, the back seat is widest in class. So if you're going to be putting 1, 2, or potentially 3 child seats back here, you can do that on the Santa Fe, where some vehicles you just can't. But also, both of the backs of the front seats are solid. So if you have children back here that are kicking the seat, not going to be an issue because it's nice and solid. You've also got 2 USB ports down here and vents for the rear passengers as well. And of course, a nice cushy center cup holder armrest, which folds out of the way when you want to put a person here. The hump in the middle is not too bad. It sticks out a little bit above the other seats, but it's pretty good. The hump in the middle of the floor, again, not too bad. You can see based on my foot, it's really not that high. It's still very comfortable. There is a seat back pocket on the passenger seat. And last but not least, both of the rear seats do recline. Check this out. So right now, this one's in its uppermost position. I can recline, how many positions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 positions. It's around 9 or 10. I might have skipped 1 or 2. But anyway, what I'm trying to point out is not only do these seats squat down when you put the seat down, but they also recline multiple positions. If you compare that to most of the competition, you'll get one, maybe two positions of recline. In this one, if you're a kid back here and you want to go to sleep, I mean, look at that. It's just a comfortable place to be. All right, let's check out the front seat and all the features up there. All right, before I jump in the driver's seat, I'd like to point out that both front seats are powered. The driver does get lumbar support, whereas the passenger, I mean, it's got good support, but it's not adjustable. However, both seats do have height adjustment as well as tilt. So as far as how many functions or how many ways you can move the seat, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10-way power on the driver's side, 8-way power on the passenger side, and of course the headrests go up and down as well. On the left side, we can see here we've got the child safety lock mechanism. That isn't just for the windows, guys, that's for the windows and the doors. So no more digging into the door jamb to find that. You can do it right from here. Lock out the kids and pets and whatnot right from the armrest. Pretty nice. All right, one thing I forgot to mention, with the proximity entry key on this vehicle, there is also now remote start. So in 2021, Hyundai decided to finally offer remote start in their vehicles, and I've lost the key, but I'd love to show you that, and I don't know where the key is. But anyway, it's got remote start now as well. All right, so we're gonna start the features on the left-hand side here. So we've got your lane keep assist. This is just your dimmer switch and your traction control. Lane keep assist. It's also got highway follow assist, which I'll touch on in a moment. You've got the e-brake here. Now this is pretty cool. There's two ways to shut this e-brake off. One is you put your foot on the foot brake down there and then you press this and that disables the e-brake. But the other way is to simply put the car in drive. And you can do that, of course, because this has a fly-by-wire transmission. I'm going to show you that in a second. But check out what happens if I try to put it in drive and I don't put my seatbelt on. Check this out. So I hit the D for drive, and I let go of the brake, push on the gas a bit, and it says to release e-brake, fasten seatbelt, close all the doors, etc. So it doesn't actually release the e-brake. You see the light right there, unless it knows it's safe. So I'm going to put it into park again here. I'm going to grab my seatbelt. A little awkward right now, but there we go. And now I'm going to hit the D for drive, and there we go. E-brake is off. So it turns itself off once it realizes it's actually safe to go. Pretty neat technology. It actually comes on automatically as well. If you're on a hill and you shut the car off, e-brake will actually come on automatically. It'll use the yaw, pitch and yaw sensor to determine whether or not it actually needs the e-brake. So the other thing I want to point out is with this fly-by-wire transmission comes extra safety features as well. For instance, if we're in drive and we shut the car off, it'll actually quickly switch over to park. If we're in drive and we don't shut the car off, but we open the door, take our seatbelt off, and let go of the brake, it'll quickly switch into park as well. So it doesn't let you leave the car in drive and get out. It doesn't work. It puts it into park automatically. So a pretty cool technology. The other thing that does, of course, getting rid of the shift column means that you have a whole bunch of extra storage space down here. This is quite large, big enough to put, a medium-sized purse, for instance, or, if you're a guy and you don't have a purse, well, maybe a laptop bag or something. But also under there, you can see we've got that 12-volt power outlet, and then on that side is a USB port. Now, in regards to that USB port, it's even lit up. So a lot of car companies, for whatever reason, Toyota, I'm looking at you. For some reason, a lot of your cars, you have these USB ports in these really dark, hard to see places, and then they're not lit up. So you can't find them at night. But it is actually backlit, so it's kind of nice. All right, let's continue on with the features here. Looking at the steering wheel, you can see we've got the voice recognition button. Now that's only for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which, by the way, is wireless. That's right, you don't need a wire connected. You can wirelessly connect to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which you can see right here. There's the Wi-Fi used for phone projection. Pretty cool. You've also got, obviously, your hang-up call, your answer call, your volume rocker, your mode switch between where music's coming from, etc. Next track, previous track, or next preset, previous preset. So all of your radio controls are right here. There isn't any on this side. And all of your vehicle drive controls are on this side, and there isn't any on this side. Nissan, seriously, guys. Stop mixing your buttons up. It drives people crazy. Anyway, so this is all of the drive controls. On the right hand side here, you've got your cruise control systems, which is adaptive, And of course it has lane follow assist. That's the button for that right there. So if you see these two icons light up in green, the car is basically going to be able to steer itself, and it works for a really long time. It'll go for minutes at a time. It's pretty cool. The adaptive cruise, of course, will maintain a distance between you and the car in front of you. It'll slow down if they slow down, that sort of thing. You've got paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, so even though there isn't a shift column, you can actually shift gears manually. And of course there's 8 gears to shift through, so if you want to gear down on a long highway downhill section or whatever, you can do so. Just a typical light stalk on the left and wiper stalk on the right. Nothing special about those. The steering wheel, by the way, is fully heated. All 360 degrees around is heated. You have a center console storage area here, which is actually quite immense. So I get an idea of the size of that based on my hand. Check this out, and it's gone. So it's quite deep, lots of space in there to put stuff. But you know what? Keep it clean. Be a good car owner and keep your stuff cleaned up. You got a little spot right here to stick your phone if you want. It's not a wireless charger in this one. That would be in a higher trim level. You got a center cup holder, as well as another cup holder there under the cover. So if it's just you, you can put your cup in there. Otherwise, there's another cup holder for a passenger there. USB port here, which you can play music from, or if your phone doesn't support wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, that's the USB port to connect it to in order to use those functions on the screen. A little further up, you got your heated seat buttons, you got your heated steering wheel button here, your auto hold, which will maintain the vehicle's position when you take your foot off the brake, so it just won't start to creep forward when you're in drive or reverse. It doesn't matter if you're on a hill or not. You've got the auto start system in this vehicle, auto stop start, so that's where you can disable that. Basically with that on, so with that light off, that means that the vehicle will shut the engine off when you're at a stoplight or stop sign. If you want to disable it, you just press that button. Simple as that. Now, here's the different drive modes. I was talking about the snow, mud, and sand mode earlier. So to switch to those, you just go terrain, and then you rotate it snow, mud, sand. Just makes the all-wheel drive system that much more aggressive and capable in conjunction with the traction and stability control for those particular scenarios, and it does work really, really well. Drive mode, you got comfort, sport, and smart. Comfort is just going to be loose steering wheel, you know, kind of easy on the throttle, that sort of thing. Just kind of a nice, comfortable drive. Sport, exact opposite. It tightens up the steering wheel, makes the shifts a little bit more aggressive, like it'll actually try to keep you in the lower gear longer, gives you a bit more low-end kick, that sort of thing. And then smart mode just kind of looks at how you're driving and adjusts accordingly automatically. On this side here, we got hill descent assist, so up to 40 kilometers an hour. The vehicle will actually maintain its speed. Whatever speed you let go of the brake at, it'll just maintain that speed going down the hill. You've got the rear parking sensors. This is where you can turn them off. And then you've got the backup camera screen, which you can quickly enable when you're parked or when you're driving forwards at less than 10 kilometers an hour. You can actually have it come on at that point as well. Speaking of the backup camera, if we put the vehicle into reverse and have a look. So a couple things to point out. Very nice clear image. You got the dynamic steering lines as well. And if I tap the screen and hit that little icon there, now we're looking at a top-down view. And you can see the bumper along the bottom here. And even in this view, you can see the bumper along the bottom. So backing up to another object behind you, really, really simple. But what I'd like to point out about that screen in general is that obviously it's a touch screen, it's a matte finish, so it does reduce glare. It's a non-polarized screen. I say this in all my videos because it's really, really important. If you wear polarized sunglasses, a lot of manufacturers polarize their infotainment screens, and you won't be able to see the screen very easily or at all, depending on your sunglasses. So if your polarized lenses interfere with the polarization on your screen, it's just going to look black, or it's going to have black lines. It's going to look terrible. Hyundai does not polarize the infotainment screen or any of our instrument cluster screens either, so you'll still be able to see everything on the screen very easily. All right, a little further up is the automatic dual zone climate control. So you got your temperature adjustments here. Now when you adjust the temperature, it just shows up on the screen there. You can see the numbers changing as I adjust the temperature. Or you can also go to climate and get a good idea of exactly what's happening on the screen. Just everything that's on there. The automatic system here, you'll notice if I hit this button here, there's actually 3 levels of auto. I don't know if you can hear the fan spin up, But there's a second level of aggressiveness and a lowest aggressiveness. So this basically changes how quickly the vehicle is going to reach the temperature that you've set up on the driver's or passenger's side. So if the fan noise is bugging you, or if the fan is blowing on you and it's bugging you, hit this button, drop the intensity down a little bit, but try to keep it on automatic, because the car, quite frankly, is really good at getting to the temperature that you've set. Avoid the temptation to come in here and crank the fan or slow the fan down or change where the air is coming from, because that turns off the automatic system, as you can see. So you can, of course, put it on recirculate. That's not going to harm the auto setting. So recirculate versus fresh air. Speaking of recirculate, check this out. Right now it's on fresh air. If I pull the windshield washer fluid, check it out, it does nothing, because that's not set up to do anything yet. 1 second. All right, so in the settings under vehicle, you can actually set it up to activate recirculation on windshield washer fluid use. And let's try this again. So it's on fresh air, I pull the button or pull the stalk, and boom, it's now on recirculate. The reason behind that is because if the smell of the windshield washer fluid bothers you, it quickly puts the climate control on recirculate. So it's just recirculating cabin air instead of pulling air from outside, which of course is going to smell like the windshield washer fluid. So that's the point behind that. I love it when I go to show off something and it's disabled. Anyway, moving further along. So that is your dual zone automatic climate control. So we're going to pass the screen for a moment and look up to the mirror here. It is a auto dimming rear view mirror, and it's got the 3 home link buttons for garage doors and gates. Further up still, you have the 2 buttons for the Blue Link system, which I'll mention in a moment. Both of the visors do slide out. Both have mirrors, both have lights. But as you can see, no sunroof in this one. So kind of an unusual trim, because you have this beautiful leather interior and no sunroof, which is very strange for Hyundai. Now, in regards to these buttons, this is call for roadside assistance. This is call for emergency assistance. And that's part of the Blue Link system. So Blue Link in Canada is free for 3 years. What that gives you is the ability to remotely start your car from your cell phone, lock the doors, unlock the doors, find it on a Google map, all from your cell phone, from an app on your cell phone, Blue Link Canada. But it also gives you automatic emergency services. So if you get into an accident, God forbid, your airbags deploy, emergency services will be alerted to your location, and they'll just go there automatically. So if you're unconscious, doesn't matter, they're still going to know where you are in most cases. So the vehicle does have to have a cellular signal, and it has to be able to see GPS satellites as well to know the location. But it's pretty good. It's a fairly new thing from Hyundai. It's been around for, I think, about 4 years now in Canada, a little bit longer down in the States. But yeah, good technology, good safety. All right, next I want to talk about the instrument cluster. So there's a couple things to talk about here, not too much. Obviously, we have the tachometer on the left-hand side, speedometer on the right-hand side. But what I want to talk about mainly is this little center screen. So in the center screen, I can manipulate what's on there using the buttons on the steering wheel here. So these 2 buttons all control that screen. This top button will cycle us to the right on the screen, and then this one will go up and down within the sub menu. So let's check out some of the things you can see here. We've got attention level. So this vehicle, not only does it have a lot of safety technology in regards to how you're driving, but also how you're feeling. If it determines that you're tired, it may actually tell you to take a break. So that's what this attention level thing is. Right now, obviously, my tension is very high because I'm hopped up on caffeine and I'm going nuts. I'm talking a million miles a minute, but it knows that. No, it's because we haven't been in the car very long, but that's essentially what it's doing, is it's monitoring our tension level using steering inputs as well as length of time on the road. Also in this menu, we have the lane keep assist screen. This is the highway follow assist, adaptive cruise, and everything will show up on here. If I hit this top button to jump over to the right once, I've got my drive info, since refueling, the trip information, accumulated information, it's like another trip computer, how long it's going to take for the car to automatically stop. So you can leave the car running, and in an hour and 18 minutes it basically shuts off. We have the digital speedometer, which I can quickly switch to miles simply by holding down this OK button. So if I do that now, boom, now it's, oh, it was in miles. Oh no, now it's in miles, sorry. All right, if I hold down that button again, it'll switch over to kilometers. There we go. And then if I press the top button again, we got the user settings. Now this is where you can change things like, for instance, under lights, I can go to illumination. I can change the dashboard illumination level. I can change the one-touch turn signal. That's where you simply tap the stock and it flashes by itself. Right now it's on 5 flashes, which we're going to actually keep it on. I can also go in and change the headlight delay, the high beam assist. It has automatic high beams that shut off if it detects a car in front of you. And if I go down to, let's see here, cluster, I can have a welcome sound when I start the car up. I can change the background theme here, as you can see. Kind of silly little things, but those are all things you can do from the user settings. Then I've got over the all-wheel drive info screen. So check this out. I'm going to put it into drive here. Now, as I accelerate forward, you can see power is going to all the wheels right away under any acceleration. So that's one of the great things about the all-wheel drive system. It's adaptive and it's predictive. Next down, we have the tire pressure monitor, and then it goes back to the screen. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the 8-inch touchscreen. So in the radio, I just want to point out that we have, it's pretty cool. So we have digital information coming up on the left-hand side here. You do have Sirius XM satellite radio, and all of the presets are going to be on the left-hand side. You can see we got FM presets, AM presets, and Sirius XM presets all on the left side. And to enable a preset, you just hit the little star there and it puts it on this side here, and then you can scroll up and down through your presets. So pretty cool. I'm going to switch to FM for a second here. You'll notice we also have HD radio, so we'll turn that on. So that's the radio, pretty simple, easy to use. Also in here, we go to all menus. We can see we got Blue Link information, which I mentioned earlier. There's your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto icons. We have quiet mode. So quiet mode will basically shut off the rear speakers and limit the volume in the front speakers. You even got valet mode. So when you got Blue Link enabled, you can put valet mode on. It kind of restricts access to a lot of the vehicle's features for, when a valet is using it. Notifications are in regards to the Blue Link system as well. So things like service notifications, that sort of thing. Also in here, of course, we can go to setup. We can go into general. This is where we can do things like updates for the stereo, and under vehicle we can change things like that drive terrain mode change alert. So if I put it on detailed alert and then change the drive mode, it actually comes up. There we go, there's snow, mud, sand. So it's just a detailed little bit of information about what drive mode you happen to be in. You can also have it on simple alert, which just comes up with words on the bottom. Kind of a fun little thing. In climate, there's where you can change that air recirculation thing. Automatic ventilation, it's got auto dehumidify when it thinks that it's getting too humid in the car. Auto defrost, so it's got a sensor up in the windshield that detects whether or not the windshield is fogging up, and it puts on the defrost automatically. This is also where you go to set up your Bluetooth devices as well, and you can set up customized controls for the custom button right here. So if I press this little button, it actually is a custom button. I can choose any of these things for it to do. I always put it on phone projection. That's the CarPlay Android Auto. All right, that pretty much covers it for the Santa Fe Limited Edition. When I started selling Hyundais, it was back in 2016, and the top trim in the Santa Fe was called the Santa Fe Limited. Well, we've come full circle now. The top trim is no longer called the Santa Fe Limited, but the Limited is back in a limited capacity. So less features than the old Limiteds, but yeah, kind of interesting that they brought the name back anyway. Now, one thing to consider with Hyundai products, you do get a spectacular warranty in Canada. It's a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty that covers almost everything. There are some exceptions, obviously, but where everyone else is 3 or 60,000, Hyundai, Kia, Genesis are 5-year, 100,000. It also gives you 5 years of roadside assistance anywhere in North America as well. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if I helped you out with anything in this video, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.